This is the 6 Sports Desk.
Two things that go together really well on a day like today are hot dogs and baseball, and both were on full display down in Detroit this afternoon. The Detroit Tigers were playing a doubleheader against the Cleveland Indians, and little did we know, but coming into today's matchup, history was going to be made on the mound. But before we get to that, we got to talk about Miguel Cabrera because the Tigers legend continues to make history. Bottom of the first with runners on second and third. He chops one right back up the middle. That'll get through the infield, bringing both runners home for a 2 RBI single, putting his total to 1,831 RBIs. He's now tied with Manny Ramirez for 18th all-time on the RBI list. But from one MLB legend to Garrett Hill making his MLB debut, the 26-year-old out of Petaluma, California, was locked in. He became the first Tigers pitcher ever to pitch 6 innings with no more than 2 hits in a debut. Incredible outing for the kid. And the Tigers bats backed him up. Bottom of the 7th with runners on the corners. Javi Baez just gets enough of this one, bringing Jonathan Schoop home from third for an RBI single and extending that Tigers lead. Then some more solid hitting from Tucker Barnhart right down the third baseline. Jonathan Schoop hustles all the way home from first as the Tigers would go on to win it 4-1 the final. And after his historic debut, Garrett Hill was asked, at what moment did you start feeling comfortable in this game?
After about the second inning, going into the third, started feeling my legs again. And, and then from there on out, it was just make pitches and just keep pumping strikes in there.
He looked like he was all over the zone with all of his pitches, and he was able to get them to exploit some soft contact and some balls on the ground when he needed to. He played pretty good defense. He just was in command of the game, which means he can throw any pitch at any time. So I love the way he went about it.
Well, game 2 starter for the Tigers, Alex Faedo, was trying to do the same thing as Hill, but in the top of the 4th, Andres Jimenez makes a deep shot into right. That's a sacrifice fly ball, bringing home Jose Ramirez from third to make it a 2-1 game for the Guardians. And a couple at-bats later, Owen Miller grounds one through the left side of the infield, giving plenty of time for Franmil Reyes to trot home. Faedo would leave the game with some hip soreness. No word on how long he's going to be out. The guys like Riley Green were swinging away. Runners on the corners, and this ball takes a high bounce. It can't be collected in time. Spencer Torkelson scored from third as Green gets to first with the RBI single. Then in the bottom of the 7th, Eric Haas says, "You hang it, I bang it," crushing this off-speed pitch for a firework of a home run as the Tigers would go on to sweep the holiday doubleheader 5-3 the final in game 2. Well, back up here in mid-Michigan, the Lansing Lugnuts decided to hold their first game of this week's homestand on this 4th of July holiday. And for those who were excited to watch some baseball tonight, there was a packed stands at Jackson Field. Out to the ballpark we go. The official attendance number was 10,055, the largest crowd all season. Lugnuts manager Phil Pohl was spitting seeds and talking strategy as the Lugnuts hosted the Great Lakes Loons, and the Sluggers found out very quickly just how good Lugnuts starter Mac Lardner really is. Mac was on attack from the first pitch, going 6 innings and tallying up 8 strikeouts on the night, the most strikeouts he's had in a game all season, patriotically firing off that cannon of an arm. And the Lugnuts offense was also showing out in this one. In the bottom of the 7th, Joshua Wright smacks one into right field. A throw home is not in time to get the speedy Matt Cross, who slides home safely as the Lugnuts would walk it off with a Tyler Soderstrom 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th inning, a 7-4 the final score. And out on Coney Island, New York, the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest shot another dominant performance from the greatest competitive hot dog eater in the history of the sport. Joey Chestnut showed us all how he can just cruise to another record championship, putting him in a class of his own. I mean, we're talking better than Bill Russell type numbers. And he was playing a little hurt today with a cast on his right foot due to a ruptured tendon. But that wasn't a problem for the guy who's won the last 7 straight contests. Chestnut was able to wolf down 63 hot dogs in just 10 minutes, winning his 15th championship. The guy who came in second only ate 47 hot dogs. Absolutely impressive. Impressive performance. We'll be right back with a final look at your forecast, so stay with us.